Welcome to the second episode of Excel in Excel. This video, like the first episodes, which you can check out right here, will be a very long one. So I've added timestamps down below so you can jump around to see different parts of the video. I've categorized the task assigned to me by myself into 3. So I can easily see what each task I'm doing is for. Alright, without further ado, let's get started with our first task. It seems that we receive new data in a separate sheet called new data. Now we can just copy and paste this to our main table because there are, headings. We can simply remove the headings by selecting the entire row using Shift Space, and then deleting the entire row by using Ctrl-. Now I can go ahead and copy this entire range of data into our main table. Make sure to update the flash fill here. There we go. Now, since we don't need the new data sheet anymore, we can simply hide the sheet by right-clicking the sheet's name and then clicking on Hide. Time to move on to the next task. Let's fill this green so we know it's finished. Our next task is to sort the customer's name from A to Z. We can easily sort the data in tables by clicking this drop-down arrow right here and clicking on Sort from A to Z. Now our table-related tasks are pretty easy, but our next set of tasks are going to be much more challenging to do. We first need to make a new sheet. To make a new sheet, click this plus button right here. After that, let's name it Charts. To remove the grid lines and headings, go to the View tab and uncheck Grid Lines and Headings. And as you can see, the sheet looks a lot cleaner, and we can also blend in our future charts that we make with this white background. To make charts from tables, we first need to make a pivot table from this table. First, make sure that any part of the table is selected. Then click on Insert, then Pivot Table. Make sure to select New Worksheet, click OK, and the pivot table will be created. For our first chart, we will put devices in the rows area, and the customer names into the values area. After that, in the Pivot Table Analyze tab, click on the Pivot Chart tool, go to Pi, and click OK. We'll copy and paste this chart into the chart sheets. We'll cut and paste this chart into the charts sheet. We can do the formatting later. For now, let's make the second chart, which is the line chart. We'll duplicate our main pivot table. Make sure that the duplicate is far away from the other pivot table, or else when we arrange the different fields in the different areas in the pivot table field sidebar, the different data points might collide and data loss might happen. For this second pivot table, we'll remove devices from the rows and instead put in purchase date. We'll remove the field quarters, months, and the purchase date field. We'll only leave the years field behind. And after that, we can now make the line chart. We'll click on Pivot Table. We'll go to the Pivot Table Analyze tab once again. Click on Pivot Chart, Line. Click on OK. Then we'll cut and paste this into our charts sheet as well. And we're done for the second and third task. Now this isn't really in our task list, but might as well put in the effort to design our charts a bit. Oh, also, before I forget, let's make sure to hide the sheet where we used pivot tables in. First, right-click this field button and select hide all field buttons on chart. This makes it look a lot cleaner. After that, we'll select both of the charts, go to Shape Format, Align, and click on Snap to Shape, which will also turn on Snap to Grid. This allows for more organized look when positioning our charts. Next, before I forget, let's name the charts about what they represent. Let's call the pie chart distribution of devices sold, and let's know the line chart yearly sales. After that, select the chart style you want. From the different chart styles available in the Design tab. Now for the pie chart, select the chart style you want from different chart styles available in the Design tab. I really like the 9th style because it's really minimalistic, which is basically what my channel is about. I'll change the font to Avenir. And I'll increase the size of the legacy text. Now for the line chart, I think I prefer the last available chart style. I don't really need this legend here since we only have one line. To make sure that the charts blend in with a pure white background, select the charts, go to Shape Outline inside the Format tab, and select No Outline. We'll do the same for the other chart. Now we can take the design of these charts a bit further, but I think it's better that you visit this other video instead. Now we're done with part 2 of this video. Time to go to part 3. For first task in formulas in function, we'll first copy and paste the price table inside price reference sheet into our main table sheet, so we can use it for functions much more easier. Since we don't need the price reference sheet anymore, we might as well as hide it. Then after putting the price reference sheet right here, we'll turn it quickly into the table using the shortcut Ctrl-T. And then we'll make the new column by selecting the whole purchase date column using the Ctrl space shortcut, with Ctrl-Shift equals or Ctrl plus depending on how you'd like to call it. We'll name the column price, and then we'll start by typing in the formula for VLOOKUP in the first cell of the column. For the first argument, we'll select the cell to the right of this cell. For the second argument, we'll select the whole table we have, the whole price reference table. For the third argument, we will type in 2 because we want to get the prices of the devices. We can't really see it right here because our view is way too zoomed out. And then for the optional argument, we'll type in false because true often leads to errors, especially with bigger datasets. We'll close off the formula, hit enter, and we're finished. Time to move on to the next task. Also, before we forget, let's set the number type to accounting and dollars. For our second task, we'll first make the new column by selecting the country column using Ctrl space and then pressing Ctrl Shift plus to add a new column. After that, we'll rename the column to subtotal. We'll type in equals, select the first cell in the price column, type in asterisk for multiplication, and then select the first cell in the amount purchased column. We can hit enter, and we now have the subtotal for each purchase made. Although as you can see, the conditional formatting for the amount purchased column disappeared, unfortunately. I do not know why. We can simply just add in new conditional formatting rules to replace the ones that were lost. The third task is relatively simple. We'll first make a new column to the right of subtotal called discount. Make sure to set the number type to percentage and remove the conditional formatting. Because every time we create a new column, it copies the exact formatting of the column from its left. After that, in the first cell of the column, we'll type in the formula for ifs. Based from the task, we'll need 3 logical tests. If the customer purchased more than 10 devices, they will get a discount of 45%. If the customer purchased more than 5 devices, they will get a discount of 30%. If the customer purchased 3 or more devices, they will get a discount of 20%. And if the customer purchased less than 3 devices, they will not get a discount or simply none. We can close off this formula, hit enter, double click the fill handle, and we're finished for the third task. Before I forget, let's color this green so we can mark it complete. For the fourth task, we'll first make a new column to the right of discount called final price. In the first cell, we'll type in the basis for our formula, which is the equal sign. What we need to do is to subtract the product of the subtotal and discount value from the original subtotal. Now, as you can see, if we double-click the fill handle, there are some errors in some of the cells. This is because some of the customers have none as their discounts, and none is a text string. So Excel is confused and gives a value error. To fix this, we enclose the formula with the IFERROR function. And in the second argument of the IFERROR function, we'll simply select the original subtotal value. We'll close off the formula, hit enter, double-click the fill handle, again to refresh the formulas, and as you can see, the errors disappeared. Also, if you happen to get this annoying error in the first cell, just click the error icon and click on Restore to Calculated Column Formula. That'll fix the error. Before we start with the fifth task, as you can see, after creating so many columns, the cells of the sizes of the columns went crazy, as you can see here. We can fix this easily by selecting the entire sheet and just double-clicking the column divider. Might as well double-click the row divider, but there shouldn't be any errors in that. If you're wondering why the cells became a bit bigger, it's just that because I zoomed in a little bit, so you can see better about what I'm working on. For the fifth task, I've already prepared a mini table for us to use for this specific task. We first need to type in the formula for COUNTIF. Then we'll select the whole device column. Hold on. And then, in the criteria part, we'll select the cell which contains the specific device we're counting. That means the function COUNTIF will count all cells under the column device with the value that the cell in P3 has, which is laptop. And if we double-click the fill handle, as you can see, we have 373 customers who bought laptop, 691 customers who bought the smartphone, and 529 customers who bought a tablet. Now we're finished with all the tasks. Phew! You can check out the entire Excel in Excel series right here. You can also learn 5 functions that will help you solve any problem in Excel effectively. Once again, this was Minimalism Excel, and I hope to see you next time.